and welcome. It's back to work after the extended Eid al-Kabir holiday, and the nation's midweek resumption began with what is comparable to high drama on the political scene as the judiciary steps in yet again to interpret the letter of the Constitution. Yes, you already know about Adamawa State is back on top of the news log with the swearing in of a new governor. So, there won't be any polls in the northeastern state this Saturday after all. In other news, the transformation of the transport sector forges ahead with the federal government committing to procure more standard locomotives. Also tonight, crisis management among security agencies and the media in times like this with national security at stake. That's just a bit of what to look out for on News Extra this evening. I'm Funke Oga. You're most welcome. Adamawa State Deputy Governor Bala James Nglari has been sworn in. The oath of the office was administered by the President, Customary Court of Appeal, Adamawa State, Justice Audu Lagre. Correspondent Rayano Bala has details.
Authority vested in me as governor.
Governor Bala James Nglari, after taking the oath of office, pledged to be loyal to the People's Democratic Party and its leader, President Goodluck Jonathan, in transforming the country. Bala Nglari said he will run an open, transparent and all-inclusive government, as well as build hope and confidence in the people of Adamawa State. He promised to work in partnership with all stakeholders to tackle the enormous challenges the state is faced with, such as insecurity, corruption, unemployment and hunger, among others. Governor Bala James Nglari called on the people of the state to put aside religious, ethnic and political differences and work towards the development of the state. He also pledged to work with other arms of government for accountability and good governance.
We must build a society based on principles of equity and justice. We should also build bridges of understanding amongst our various communities. As a partyman and a team player, I pledge my unalloyed support and loyalty to our great party leader in the person of Mr. President.
Minister of Youth Development Mr. Boni Haruna was among early callers who paid solidarity visit on Governor Bala James Nglari. From the Government House Yola, Rayanu Bala, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja had earlier ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to stop the planned by-election for Adamawa State governorship seat, saying Deputy Governor to Murtala Nyako should immediately be sworn in as the governor. Justice Adeni Ademola gave the order after hearing arguments on the case filed by James Bala Nglari, asking the court to declare him governor since he did not resign as deputy governor after the impeachment of his governor, Murtala Nyako. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewu reports.
Justice Adeni Ademola looked beyond political expediency and stuck strictly to constitutionalism, taking a step-by-step look at the constitutional stipulations for the resignation of a deputy governor, as it is in this case. Section 306, subsection 1, 2, and 5 of the 1999 Constitution stipulate the process by which the deputy governor could have resigned. But rather than have his letter transmitted to the then governor, a letter which the court described as fishy, doubtful, and a letter which speaks lies against itself emerged from the State House of Assembly, purportedly written on the 15th of July, when all records lead to the fact that Murtala Nyako left Yola on the 14th of July. The court therefore concluded that Bala Nglari's purported resignation did not meet the constitutional provision, and therefore the swearing in of the Speaker, Ahmed Fintiri, instead of the Deputy Governor was unconstitutional, illegal, and of no effect. Justice Adeni Ademola consequently directed the Chief Judge or Acting Chief Judge or President of the Adamawa Customary Court of Appeal to immediately swear in Bala Nglari.
When a purported letter written to the governor came to court, Nyako, and said, I did not receive any letter of resignation from my deputy. And Section 306 is very clear on the point. that unless you hand over a letter of resignation to the governor, it does not take any effect. So at the time that Nyako was purportedly impeached, there was a deputy governor in place to be sworn in as governor. What you had was a constitutional coup.
Counsel to INEC, the acting governor, and the Adamawa House of Assembly all said that they would have to seek the reactions of their clients. The Constitution allows any losing party, which in this case is the acting governor, to go on appeal. But for now, everything lies in the hands of INEC, which must first obey a subsisting court order not to hold the Adamawa by-election. From the Federal High Court, Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
And following the Federal High Court judgment in Abuja restraining INEC to conduct governorship by-election in Adamawa State, INEC says it has suspended the election. Announcing the suspension at a stakeholders meeting in Yola, INEC chairman Professor Tahiru Jega said the commission, being a loyal organization, will always abide by the rule of law. And joining me to look at this development is a legal practitioner, Mr. Kayode Ajulo. We are all witnesses of the early morning Adamawa State drama this morning. Could you please tell us the import of the Section 306 of the Constitution to this case?
Well, the import of Section 306 and Section 5 is so clear.
Okay.
And as it is, and quite unfortunate, it's more of procedural issue. Okay. That is when it comes to issue of resignation. Because as the law provides for how to have the president, the deputy, the governor, and the deputy governor, so all the political office, the same law provides how they can cease to hold the office. Okay. In that Section 306, subsection 5, talks about how the deputy governor, how the man, whosoever may be, can tender his resignation. And it's so clear. Okay. And what the court did today, and I believe, is to clear whatever may be the issue. And that's why you see that the Supreme Court have been saying this several times, that when it comes to interpretation of the Constitution, all you need to do is to give it a just literary interpretation. And what is a literary interpretation? That is to the effect that if you're going to resign, you have to resign. That is the case of the deputy governor. You resign to your governor. And as it is, as at the time, the resignation is taking effect. That is when the man is tendering his interpretation, resignation. Unfortunately, it has been alleged that he sent it to the House, which the House of Assembly has nothing to do. So what the court did today is just to put the whole thing in the right perspective, to follow the law, and to believe that our Constitution is supreme. If you must do anything, you must do it with the guidance.
And now the new governor, is he going to spend his 4 years term?
Oh, not at all. Section 191 has very clear that all he needs to do is just to finish the unexpired time of the former governor. And as it is now, it's supposed to be as of the 28th May 2004. So what he needs to do is to
14?
Just complete that, just simple period. And I believe by that time we have another election, because that Section 191 so clear on what to do when we have that.
How about his deputy governor? Is he going to pick a deputy governor?
Certainly, and I'm sure because he has a very short time. We're expecting that by tomorrow, or before the end of this week, to send the names of his deputy governor to the House and to the House to do what is desirable in that circumstance. And one thing we have to know is this: this is time that we have to praise our judiciary. We have to pray our constitutional democracy. That look, judiciary. We have been saying that is the last resort of common man, but you can say that it's the last resort of everybody, because we're happy today. Everybody is so happy, and what's been a big issue for some time, you can see how it's been so cleared by the
But in a situation, if the aggrieved party goes to court, what happens?
What happened? But one thing is there shouldn't be a vacuum, and I believe that is why the federal government, and we have to praise the presidency and the federal government for doing the desirable today, because immediately, without wasting time, without thinking over it, to say, look, what the law says is what we must follow. The judgment has been passed, and the judgment must be followed. Whosoever that is aggrieved can go to court of appeal. But as it is today, the law we have, the judgment we have, that is what was delivered by Justice Ademola,
so
and that's
what
should be.
Conveniently say kudos to the judiciary.
Certainly, kudos to the judiciary. I'm so happy, and I believe all whosoever that believe in this country be so happy today that look, our judiciary has really come again to let us know that they can show us the path, and think kudos to them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kayode Ajulo. We hope that when next we call on you, you will oblige us.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The All Progressive Congress, APC, says it has accepted the verdict of the Federal High Court on Adamawa governorship in good faith, as it has regard for the rule of law. The party, however, says it will support former Governor Murtala Nyako to fight for his case to its logical conclusion. Correspondent Abdullahi Garba Brenunkudu reports.
Reacting to the judgment of Federal High Court that declared former Deputy Governor Bala Ingilari as Governor of Adamawa State, APC Deputy National Chairman Alhaji Lawal Shuaibu says APC as a party has no objection to the rule of law.
We respect the rule of law, provided it is the court that rules. We don't object to the ruling of court.
In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Brenunkudu, NTA News.
And away from the dramatic turn of events in Adamawa State, the federal government is to procure 2 standard locomotives as part of its commitment to transform the transport sector. The contract was approved by the Federal Executive Council at its meeting this Wednesday. State House correspondent Segun Lawole reports.
Since the 60s, Nigeria has relied on the narrow gauge lines for its railway services. However, what the present administration, led by President Jonathan, is saying is that time is now for the country to jettison that and go the way of the standard gauge for its railway services. This is why the Federal Executive Council meeting, chaired by President Jonathan, devoted quality time to examining a proposal presented by the Minister of Transport on a complete modernization of the Nigerian railways from the narrow gauge to the standard gauge. The council has therefore approved the contract for the purchase of 2 standard locomotives, as the ongoing standard gauge line from Abuja to Kaduna is nearing completion.
And like the Minister of Information said, this is the first batch of the rolling stock that we are acquiring, specifically the locomotives, to be used for the transportation of passengers and indeed freight from Abuja to Kaduna and vice versa. We are going to place orders for many more in 2015 and beyond. And it is of utmost importance to emphasize that while we are working assiduously to ensure the entrenchment of the standard gauge and modern system of the railway system, we are equally working assiduously to see to the completion of the rehabilitation of the narrow gauge lines, so as to have complementary services.
The narrow gauge, which is slow and cumbersome, has been replaced in most countries of the world with the standard gauge, which is wider and faster.
Minister of Health, Professor Yebuchi Chukwu, also gave an update on the status of Ebola virus disease in Nigeria. He said today no single case of Ebola, including contact under surveillance, is present in the country.
Nigerians are strongly advised by us to continue with the observance of strict personal hygiene and sanitation.
He expressed the hope that by the 20th of this month, the World Health Organization would declare the country Ebola-free.
The last active case on the 6th of September. Therefore, if you count 42 days from the 6th of September this year, that would arrive at 20th October 2014. So hopefully, 20th October 2014, WHO will declare that this particular outbreak has ended. So any other case after that date means it's a fresh outbreak.
The council was also reported to have commended President Jonathan for his leadership in steering the ship of the country with the successes recorded in the national transformation.
So from power reforms to education to the road network to the dredging of the Niger to the introduction of the first standard railway gauge lines in West Africa, because there's no country in this subcontinent where there is standard gauge lines. Nigeria is taking the lead, and this is coming on with confidence.
In the State House, Segun Lawole, NTA News.
The Anyama community in Delta State has expressed confidence in the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan. The community leaders, led by the Asaba of Asaba, during an audience with President Jonathan, commended him for the country's transformation as other national issues bordering on peace, security, and violence-free elections were discussed. The Asaba of Asaba, Professor Chike Edozian, said although as a traditional ruler, he's not in a position to endorse him for another term in office, but the sense of leadership and commitment to the project Nigeria must be acknowledged.
We are very, very supportive of the president.
The royal father also expressed confidence in the governorship aspirants in the state.
And many people in our area who, if elected, can be very good governors. Thank you very much.
President Jonathan also granted audience to the President and Chief Executive Officer of Samsung Heavy Industries, Dayong Park. President Goodluck Jonathan has been assured of continuous support in his transformation of the nation. The pledge for support came from the Ohuhu Welfare Union, Abuja, when they visited the First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, from where correspondent Makut Simon Macham reports.
The Ohuhu Welfare Union is the umbrella body of the sons and daughters of Ohuhu clan in Umuahia, Abia State. Being the home of the First Lady's mother, their visit to the presidential villa was another homecoming for the union and the traditional rulers who came to be associated with the good works of President Goodluck Jonathan and the First Lady. President of the union, Daniel Agu, explained that they are proud of Dame Patience Jonathan, who has done well for Nigeria and Africa, but even more proud of President Goodluck Jonathan, who has ensured that his presidency impacts the nooks and crannies of Nigeria.
We are very confident of a landslide victory at the polls come 2015. We hereby promise to mobilize the Ohuhu electorate to vote 100% for President Goodluck Jonathan.
Dame Patience Jonathan thanked them for the visit and their unwavering support over the years, saying she has received the comfort that any daughter could ask for from her people. She said President Goodluck Jonathan is even more determined to make Nigeria better for everyone.
May I use this opportunity to once again express my profound appreciation for your prayers, support, and loyalty to my husband, His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. I want to urge you to continue to give him your support, as this has always been a source of motivation for him.
She also urged them to continue to work for peace in Abia State and the country at large. From the Presidential Villa, Abuja, I am Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
Similarly, First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan has asked Nigerian women to continue to pray for the nation and devote more time in building healthy families as a way of developing the nation. Dame Patience Jonathan made the call when ladies of St. Mulumba visited her. Again, State House correspondent Makut Simon Macham reports.
Founded in 1978, the Ladies of St. Mulumba, an organization of Catholic women, carries out humanitarian work among the poor and the underprivileged. Their admiration for Dame Patience Jonathan, particularly her non-governmental initiatives and leadership role for Nigerian women, prompted their visit to the Presidential Villa, Abuja. They told the First Lady that her exemplary conduct, among others, tallies with their mission and indeed God's injunction to women who are the pillar of every society.
You are a woman with a difference, epitome of justice and peace, a phenomenal woman of substance, Dorcas and Esther of the old, and more appropriate for the Catholics. You are Mother Teresa of today.
Dame Patience Jonathan thanked the ladies of St. Mulumba for their visit and said Nigerian women have a crucial role to play in the transformation of Nigeria.
This is the time for us as mothers to wake up from our slumber and pray for the good and progress of our nation. Women ambassadors of peace, we should not fail our country at this critical time.
Prayers and raising godly families, she advocated, remained very paramount. From the Presidential Villa, Abuja, I am Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
Up ahead, the presidency takes exception to the inclusion of President Jonathan's name in a purported rich list. Stay with us.
From the jangling discords of our nation, into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Somebody better answer me correctly, or you'll all face extra homework. You, answer.
The answer is 100.
Fantastic.
Introducing MTN M Academy, with several courses catering to students studying for JAM and SSCE, all the way up to working professionals. Simply text Academy to 131. Service available on all data-enabled phones and devices.
MTN, everywhere you go. These are the best breed of global leadership. After them stands in crowning glory a visionary and dynamic apostle of the gospel of their virtues. Like Martin Luther King and Nnamdi Azikiwe, he is gifted with the power of oratory.
Education must be free, so that the children of the parents of the poor can go to school.
Like Obafemi Awolowo, he is the grand commander of free education. Like Ahmadu Bello, he is the symbol of unity.
We therefore, as Nigerians, cannot overlook the urgency of now to move this nation forward.
Like Nelson Mandela, he is the true emancipator of the people. Like Mother Teresa and Aminu Kano, he is a lover and true friend of the poor. Like Otumego Ojukwu, he is courage personified. And like Kwame Nkrumah, he is a detribalized Pan-Africanist.
Owele Rocha Sokorocha, save our generation. Even the children say so. To join this call, visit our website on Generation Rochers USA at www.generationrochers.com.
Over the last 25 years, one diversified industrial group has risen as a giant on the Nigerian and sub-Saharan economic landscape. This is the BUA Group, from operating ports and terminals in Port Harcourt to our cement plant in Edo and Sokoto states, to successfully operating the second largest sugar refinery in Africa, as well as one of the biggest vegetable oil refineries in West Africa. At the BUA Group, we also produce the finest quality flour in our world-class mills in Lagos and Kano states, in addition to our pasta manufacturing facility. We have also diversified into building numerous made and high-end housing estates across the nation. Construction is currently underway at our new sugar, semolina, flour and pasta plants in Port Harcourt. Our new state-of-the-art cement development factory in Edo State is almost at its commissioning stage. We are the BUA Group, unlocking opportunities across our nation since 1988.
It's not a question of place.
It's not a question of temperature.
It's not a question of depth.
Or knowledge.
It's not a question of dedication.
It's not a question of caring.
Or passion.
It's not a question of language. In fact, it's not a question at all.
Energy has to be better.
Safer, cleaner, more efficient,
More innovative.
More accessible.
It's our responsibility.
And our commitment to make it better.
For all of us.
Total, committed to better energy.
The finer things use exceptional materials. They require meticulous attention to detail and demand diligence. The finer things are timeless, created with unbridled passion and a keen eye for every feature. The finer things are premium, just like every Grenadine's home we create. We
use only the best professionals, skilled artisans, and the choicest materials. Our passion is to design spaces that reflect luxury, astute workmanship, and elegant style. To create luxurious settings you're not only proud to show off, but also delighted to call home. Grenadines Homes, building treasures for you.
Transformation ambassadors of Nigeria. My good people of Nigeria, does anybody use mirror to look at what you have at hand? No! Good luck at the ingredients of life. Automobile industries, full encouragement. Second Niger bridge from mirage to reality. Good luck! Railways, seaports and airports are come back to modern life. Good luck! Or a Benin highway and other federal highways from dead trap to modern spectacle. Good luck! There you are. Petrol and nyaf with control price and so many other etc. Good luck I do. Good luck are going to do. And good luck will be yours. Are you see what I'm saying? Only good luck affects the security challenges of Nigeria with honesty and commitment, fighting terrorism to a halt. Good luck continue for Nigeria.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. Done for One Vision, Nigeria.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
You're back on News Extra on Africa's largest television network, NTA. President Goodluck Jonathan says his inclusion in the list of richest African presidents is baseless and libelous. A website, richestlifestyle.com, has reported that President Jonathan's estimated net worth is about $100 million. The presidential spokesman, Ruben Abati, in a statement, condemns in totality unwarranted inclusion of the president, describing it as an attempt to unjustifiably portray the president as a corrupt leader and incite public disaffection against him. The presidency says there is no factual basis for ranking President Jonathan as the 6th richest African head of state. And the former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, has inched Nigeria's quest for achieving a better society on well-reformed health sector. General Abubakar said this while inaugurating some projects in some local government areas in Ekiti State. Kunle Adeyeye reports.
Ekiti are indeed happy to welcome the former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, who is regarded as the father of democracy in Nigeria, to the state to inaugurate some projects being executed by Governor Kayode Fayemi's administration. Some of the projects inaugurated by the former head of state included the administrative building of the State School of Nursing and Midwifery, the Works and Stores Department of Ekiti State University Teaching Hospital, Outpatients Department Annex of the same teaching hospital, and the Teaching Hospitals Library. General Abdulsalami commended Governor Kayode Fayemi for the priority he placed on the health sector, saying it is one of the antidotes in achieving a better society. He used the avenue to appeal to Nigerians to embrace dialogue as a means of conflict resolution.
Your determination in building and shaping this hospital and the nursing school is a clear confirmation of your love for the people of Ekiti State.
Governor Fayemi said that the health sector has never suffered neglect since he became the governor and itemized some breakthroughs his administration has recorded in the last 4 years.
Healthcare was a major program of this administration, and we have managed in the last 4 years not only to provide free health for vulnerable segments of our population.
The last port of call for the former head of state was Erinjinyo Ekiti, where he inaugurated a water treatment plant. In Ado Ekiti, Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
The Nigeria Labour Congress is collaborating with the International Labour Organization and the African Regional Organization of the International Trade Union Confederation to step up measures for the reduction of occupational mortality in the world of work. The recent effort by the labour bodies is in response to the Ebola outbreak in some West African countries with high casualties among health workers. Correspondent Emmanuel Anyimiro has the details.
Workers all over the world are exposed to risk of sickness, disease and injury arising from their jobs. According to an estimate by the ILO, about 2 million people die annually from work-related accidents and diseases. Within the context of promoting decent work, there are recommendations expected to be domesticated from the last conferences of ILO and ITUC Africa, which took place earlier this year, which NLC hoped will help to prevent occupational hazards.
The aim is to now look at all the discussions, deliberations, the resolutions, and see how best we can be able to implement them piecemeal. And also to combine it with the now ongoing issue of Ebola.
As Ebola outbreak continues to threaten the objectives of occupational safety and health in the workplace in some West African countries, the need for the ILO to assist in fighting the virus, just as it did in Asia during the SARS and other influenza, has become paramount.
The ILO, through its experience from SARS and avian flu, has a lot of messages which have already been, modeled for response to Ebola. So those messages actually are in line with the guidelines provided by WHO.
It's affecting us economically, it's also affecting us socially, because at the economic level, people are not coming to work or people are not traveling as much as they should.
NLC is urging every employer to guarantee decent workplace to reduce risk of occupational hazards. In Abuja, Emmanuel Anyimiro, NTA News.
And barely a month after the inauguration of the Treatment Research Group on Ebola virus disease by the Minister of Health, Professor Onyebuchi Chukwu, the group and other experts from within and outside the country will converge in Abuja for the first stakeholders meeting. This is for strategizing to achieve their mandate. At a media briefing in Abuja, Chairman of the group, Professor Innocent Uja, outlined the focus of the forthcoming meeting.
Is to discuss experimental drugs and vaccines in the management of Ebola virus disease and to develop a national plan. This is very important to us, to develop a national plan for research development of medical countermeasures to emerging diseases, infectious diseases, including Ebola virus.
Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah reports that the meeting is expected to help provide strategic directives and clear guidelines on the way forward following Nigeria's successes on Ebola. Media practitioners in the military, paramilitary and non-military sectors are reconciling grey areas to forge a robust synergy in defending national security. This is at a 3-day retreat on security media relations in crisis management holding in Abuja at the instance of the Office of the National Security Advisor. Correspondent Mohammed Abdulkader reports.
Fighting the war against insurgency in the country and elsewhere goes beyond the theater of operations to fighting it in the media arena. In recognition of this important role, the media is awash with the reportage of counter-insurgency operations in the Northeast, but rightly or wrongly often with perceived touch of sensationalism. The online news, which is often without any restrictive mechanism and least consideration for national security interests, make the interface between the media practitioners and their colleagues in the security sector imperative.
Media are citizens of our country and have a responsibility to promote our national interests.
We don't know each other because we don't communicate with each other.
Explore and understand the impact new and web-based social media.
Between the media and security, one thing should be paramount: national interest.
This will definitely enhance the synergy that is already existing.
Director of Defense Information and the former NTA Director General, Dr. Tony Iradia, who presented papers on media expectations from the security operatives and vice versa, found a common ground on the need for synergy between the two organs to win the fight against insurgency.
Security challenges being confronted in the country calls for more serious input than the crave for cheap heroism. They need to have a good media policy. And a good media policy is that policy that leads.
Events in recent times clearly show that the communications between the security forces and the media is not too fluent, a gap which this retreat is designed to fill, since the media and the security forces are both important organs of promoting national peace and security. In Abuja, Muhammad Abdel Kadri, NTA News.
We now take more political stories. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Ekiti State has called on members to support the mandate of the governor-elect, Ayo Fayoshi, to move the state forward. The National Secretary of the state stated this during a reunion party for two key political gladiators in Ogun State. Yemi Dalimo reports.
Turned out to be the most expected reconciliation and reunion of the two key political players in Ogun State, one of which left the PDP to float the People's Democratic Party, PPN, who later became a prominent leader of Labour Party in Ogun State, Otumba Daniel. Addressing journalists shortly after the reunion, National Secretary of PDP, Professor Wale Oladipo, who expressed joy over the coming together of the former Governor Daniel and the Southwest leader of the party.
These two forces are likely to come together within the PDP, and they will prepare the ground for the PDP to take over the leadership of the state.
Commenting on political development in Ekiti State, Professor Oladipo said the party will not allow politicians in Ekiti State to deprive the party of the overwhelming votes given the party in the state.
Fayoshi is the governor-elect. He won in all the 16 local government areas and in almost all the wards in Ekiti State.
Chieftains of the party, including former governor of Oyo State, Adebayo Alawo Akala, Iyola Omishore, former members of the National Assembly, as well as some party chieftains from the 6 Southwest states, attended the get-together program held at the Goodluck Jonathan Political Center, Ijebu-Igbo, in Ogun State. In Ijebu-Odi, Yemi Dalimo, NTA News.
A former governor of Ogun State, Otumba Daniel, has announced his return to the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Receiving the former governor, national chairman of the party, Adamu Muazu, said the reconciliation of aggrieved parties is yielding results. Oyeyemi Ajayi has the details.
It was indeed a glorious homecoming for the former governor of Ogun State, as top functionaries of the party, led by its national chairman, as well as the Senate President David Mark, were on hand to welcome him back into the fold.
I am now back as a full member of the People's Democratic Party.
The national chairman of the party, Adamu Muazu, while welcoming the former governor, said the party has created a platform for other aggrieved members to come back to the fold. He called for greater cooperation among party members to deepen internal democracy within the party to enhance genuine reconciliation.
PDP is your roots, and this is why you started politics. I'm happy that you have decided, very wisely too, to come back home. We will ensure that we provide level playing field for every member of the party.
Something that we've been yearning for. Governor Daniel returning to base strengthens us.
Otumba Daniel and the national chairman of the party apologized to the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, saying the party needs his fatherly support at this period. From the national headquarters of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, aggrieved aspirants and party stalwarts of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Akwa Ibom State, are the first set to visit the PDP South-South Integration and Reconciliation Committee sitting in Abuja to register their complaints. Correspondent Chimdima Ndubisi reports that the meeting aimed at brokering peace and bringing all groups together ahead of the 2015 general election.
The meeting, which was held behind closed doors, had groups from Akwa Ibom State of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) taking turns to raise issues bordering on the upcoming primaries in the state.
Why should they collect the registers from where they should belong and take them to the government house? Why should they be the ones to privately and individually form the list of delegates to go for congresses? And why should they therefore make it impossible for those who genuinely left the party to come back by not offering the register for them to be registered?
All we are clamoring for is for a level playing field for all aspirants. We do not want any imposition.
We did not come here to malign anybody, but basically to air our views on how the party can move ahead.
I do believe, after all, some people will see where they went wrong and they will see the need of coming back into one fold. Because PDP is the party you cannot afford to run away from.
The committee stated that this move is in line with the party's agenda of unifying members and galvanizing maximum support as the general election draws near.
A state like Akwa Ibom is the home of PDP, and there is no doubt whatsoever that PDP is going to win all elections in that state.
The success story has begun. You can see everybody turned out to speak.
At the end of the meeting, the committee says it will forward all issues raised by the aspirants and other stakeholders of the People's Democratic Party in Akwa Ibom State to the National Working Committee of the party, assuring that the peace process has commenced. In Abuja, Chimdimba Ndubisi, NTA News.
With 2015 general elections approaching, Nigerian women are gearing up to make an impact and participate more in governance at all levels. This aspiration, however, has its price in terms of hard work and determination to succeed. These were the issues that came up at the conference on Queen Amina, organized by some female students of the University of Lagos. Dejido reports.
Talking about bravery, courage, and determination to succeed against all odds, one historic woman who came from northern Nigeria, Queen Amina, serves as a major reference point. She reigned in Zazo, now Zaria, in the 16th century. Little wonder why a female hostel, Queen Amina Hall, was named after her at the University of Lagos. It was therefore apt when the student residents of the hall held the conference to extol her virtues and urge Nigerian women to emulate these sterling qualities. Chairman House Committee on Diaspora says the wish of Nigerian women to participate fully in governance and leadership will remain just a pipe dream if they do not take a cue from Queen Amina, step out and surmount all odds to successfully participate in politics.
Don't look down on yourselves as women. We are more than 50% of the population. So let's encourage ourselves, support ourselves, and believe in ourselves. The men have done it this way for so long. Women can bring a different approach to everything.
Other speakers also noted that women, if organized and encouraged, will make remarkable impact in leadership positions in the country.
A female leading warriors of men, I think that is just impeccable. And that's one of the reasons why we also have resolved to make sure that we do the extraordinary, do what the men of nowadays, of our generation, cannot do.
The event is part of activities to celebrate the 50th year of immortalizing the female warrior of Zazo in Unilag. In Lagos, Dejido, NTA News.
Well, the Nigerian girl child must be given the needed education, space, and opportunities to succeed in consolidating on democratic gains. This is the stand of discussants on NTA's Current Affairs program, Tuesday Live, as they stress that no nation develops meaningfully without contributions from the female folks. Talatu Ezerike reports.
The girl child in this part of the globe is faced with challenges that include cultural barriers, male preferences, child parenting, poor education, and limited resources to cater for their well-being. These discussants say do not augur well for development.
We have to begin to factor in the girl child in our policies, in our decisions. If you look at the political scene, how many women are in the House? How many women are in the Senate? These are the people who make the laws. If you had women, enough women in the Senate and in the House, they will ensure that the laws are passed that will protect the girl child.
Education is the answer to all this. Intellectual empowerment. Without intellectual empowerment, whether we have the money, we know how to play politics, is useless. Because we need to be intellectually empowered to be able to manage all these situations and resources.
We are going to do, what we must do, is advocacy at the level of the family. We must educate communities. We must educate even our religious organizations.
All the speakers called for change in mindset and more space for women, especially in elective positions, as they urged the women folk not to limit their capabilities.
Who says that a woman cannot be the president of a political party, you know? Who says that women cannot be part of the think tank, you know, the strategic committees?
As we continue to oppress her, as we continue to push her down to the lower rung of the society, it has a multiplier effect. So we need to teach our girls that in the struggle to be successful, as you strive to become somebody, you might fail, and that's fine, but we need to continue collectively to push forward.
The discussion is against the forthcoming Women and Girls Summit to address challenges facing the girl child that is scheduled for next week in Abuja. It is being organized by the Office of the First Lady in collaboration with the National Center for Women Development and the non-governmental organization Friends of Africa. In Abuja, Talat Izarike, NTA News.
The professionalism and dynamism of the late former Managing Director, News Agency of Nigeria, NAN, Dame Oluremi Oyo, will continue to endear her to the hearts of the people. These were the words of Reuben Abati, the presidential spokesman who led other members of the media and publicity department of the State House to pay a condolence visit to late Oyo's residence on behalf of the presidency. State House correspondent Segun Lawole reports.
The media community at the presidential villa, led by the presidential spokesman Reuben Abati, was received by the late Remi Oyo's widower, Vincent, and other family members. The presidential spokesman will convey the president's message and that of the media and publicity department, described the death of Oluremi Oyo, the first female presidential spokesman, as a big loss to womanhood, the media world, and the nation.
He knew Mrs. Oyo personally before even working with her. As governor in Bayelsa State, he always talks about how each time he came to the villa in those days, I was impressed by Mrs. Oyo's dynamism, her commitment, her professionalism, and how in particular he admired the fact that it was one woman who was able to break the glass ceiling in her profession.
On behalf of the entire family, the widower Vincent Oyo expressed a profound gratitude to the president for sending the delegation to commiserate with the family members.
I'm also very grateful to the media community. We thank you for all of the kind words and words of tribute that have been attributed to her.
A condolence register was later signed by the delegation led by Reuben Abati. In the State House, Segun Lawole, NTA News.
May our soul rest in perfect peace. Time for another quick break. When we return, we bring you business news. Stay with us.
For the sweetest scent, for the highest flight, for the fastest drive, form follows function. The world's first curved OLED TV. Picture perfect. It's all possible. LG OLED TV.
Names, I'm Divine. She never looks back, but not on those days. I'm Vanessa. She likes to move it, but not on those days. Today, no more issues, cause tissues always lots of liquid inside, up to 8 hours. in a no-check mode. I'm moving how, always. I'm unstoppable. Stay happy, always.
New Camay body lotion. He's always so busy, but no need to worry. I know my way to his heart. New Camay lotion with oils for moisture, long-lasting moisture that lasts so long, all day long.
Your skin glows.
I know it glows.
Skin so soft.
Oh, what a glow!
You're the queen of my heart.
I'm a Camay kind of woman. Discover new body care collection from Camay.
Auntie!
Hello, my dear. I see you went shopping with your mom, right? And what did you buy?
Power oil. It has 0 cholesterol and 0 trans fats. And contains vitamin A and natural vitamin E. It's a healthy oil for a healthy family.
I'll buy Power Oil next time I go shopping, huh?
Power Oil. Healthy for you.
Introducing the great tasting new Mini Me Chin Chin. Rich in yummy ingredients like milk, butter, and wheat.
Mini me, crunchy. Mini me, tasty.
Playful, cheerful, joyful, very big. Break the boredom with the unique taste of Mini Me Chin Chin.
Like my mini me, yeah.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, announces a 3-day workshop on Financial Regulations and Fiscal Responsibility Act. The workshop is designed for senior members of staff ministries, department agencies on grade level 7 and above, especially accountants, auditors, finance officers, stock verifiers, budget officers, planning officers, procurement officers, administrative officers, and other officers whose duties involve financial control and accountability. Date, Monday 20th to Wednesday 22nd of October 2014. Venue, the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, Topo Badagry. Fee, 75,000 naira per participant. For further inquiry, please contact GA Afolayan on 0803 318 2344 and MF Lawson on 0703 490 5536. Announcer, Director General, ASCON.
Love is the greatest of all virtues. The Holy Bible and the Holy Quran tell us so. Love is not boastful. Love is humble, cool under pressure. Love is hope for the next generation. Love is the North, East, West, and South living in unity. Love is progress despite adversity. It makes the impossible possible. Love is a secure nation with prosperity for all. Love is transformation. We need more love. Good luck, Abele Jonathan. Driven by love for God and country. Mr. President, we appreciate you. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
It's good to have you back on NTA News Extra. Experts insist that Nigeria has to change its approach towards diversifying the economy with a view to ending dependency on oil. Abdullahi Mohammed has details of these Wednesday's transaction at the capital market.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on Business News. My name is Abdullahi Mohammed. Nigeria must begin to diversify its economy in an aggressive manner with a view to reducing the country's dependence on oil. This is because an imminent reduction in the price of oil, as well as projections by experts pointing to the possibility of falling outputs, which they say may jeopardize the prospect of the Nigerian economy. Economic analysts argue that except Nigeria takes the necessary steps today, the advancement of technology which continues to simplify oil explorations as well as competition, resulting from discoveries of new oil fields in different parts of the world, may plunge oil prices.
You have to diversify the economy because it's risky giving all this shale gas and shale oil that they are finding everywhere. It's risky to depend on exporting crude oil. Even the capacity to sort of refine our own petroleum so that we can add more value and earn more value per barrel. I think government, I must imagine, are beginning to think seriously about this thing, but what is more important is for them to act seriously on them.
And to the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, where these figures are a result of transactions today.
Market capitalization ended at 13.53 trillion naira, while the Osher index closed low at 40,995.02. Investors purchased more than 408 million shares at 5.7 billion naira in 4,678 deals. New Gold was on top in the gainers category. It added 42 naira to its share price, while Guinness dropped by 8 naira 73 kobo to emerge the top loser.
And that's business news tonight. Thanks for being part of it. News Extra continues shortly.
Still on business, over 170 companies are maximizing the opportunities created at the One Ports complex following the successful completion of the facility by Intel's Nigeria Limited. Kingsley Amajiri reports that about $8 billion investment has so far been attracted to the facility.
Channel, the sand filling of swampy areas and the construction of belts 9, 10, and 11. While the groundbreaking ceremony of Phase 4B by President Goodluck Jonathan, represented by Vice President Namadi Sambo, would ensure the dredging and reclamation work for One Port, construction of jetty berths 12 to 19 at the Federal Ocean Terminal, Inner Channel, and Tom Base, as well as water distribution system, among others. The president was glad that One is a fast-growing oil and gas hub in the world, creating thousands of job opportunities for Nigerians.
We implore private investors to take advantage of the peaceful atmosphere and the policy of public-private partnership initiative of this administration to develop facilities similar to this one we are commissioning today.
Director Olen Invest, Matthew Volpe, said the quick completion of the project is a testimony of Intel's commitment to capacity building, attracting foreign direct investment, and enhancing Nigeria's local content development program.
It also offers the promise of more private sector investments and transfer of technology in our county.
Board Chairman, Nigerian Ports Authority, Tony Anene, Minister of Transport, Idris Umaru, and Minister of Trade and Investment, Olusegun Aganga, said the project would enhance vessels operations, attract more foreign investments, contributing to Nigerians' drive towards full-scale industrialization. President Jonathan, accompanied by the Minister of Trade and Investment, Transport, the Deputy Governor of Rivers State, who represented Governor Chibuike Amechi, later commissioned the Phase 4 project, while also performing the groundbreaking ceremony for Phase 4B project. From One, in Eleme local government area, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Similarly, the federal government has been commended for signing the Nigeria Oil and Gas Act, which will bring about growth and development through public-private partnership in the sector. This was made known by stakeholders in the oil and gas industry at the groundbreaking ceremony of a mega fabrication and integration yard by Lagos Deep Offshore Logistics Base and Samsung Heavy Duties Industries Nigeria Limited. Olajide Bello reports.
Occupying 121,000 square meters of land, the mega fabrication and integration yard will have an assembly area, painting shop, utility warehouse, heavy-duty area, model assembly yard, and a host of others. The chairman, Ladol Integrated Logistics Enterprise, Oladipo Jadesimi, said the mega fabrication and integration yard, when completed, will create job opportunities and attract foreign capital into the Nigerian economy.
Ladol can now be considered a strategic national asset because we're in the very, very heart of the growth and development of local content in the all-important petroleum industry.
Amy Jadesimi is the managing director of Ladol, and Kilsin Lee is the managing director of Samsung Heavy Industries Nigeria Limited.
Not only for passing the
Local Content Act in 2010, without which we wouldn't be here today, but also for being such vocal advocates of indigenous participation in every major sector of the Nigerian economy.
Nigerian industry will see a modernized mega fabrication facility and followed by a robust keywords within another 1 year.
Stakeholders in the oil and gas sector, in their submissions, described the feat by Ladol and Samsung Heavy Industries as a major milestone in Nigeria's local water content. High point was the groundbreaking ceremony performed in Lagos on Olajide Bello. NTA News.
The Nigerian Ajib Exploration Limited is partnering vendors and contractors in the deep offshore to develop capacity and capabilities through the utilization of Nigerian human and material resources in the oil and gas industry. Kingsley Amajiri has details of the vendor gap closure opportunities engagement and exhibition program.
The Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act was signed into law in 2010, expected to drive the local content development and ensure compliance by all stakeholders in the industry. Given that most contracting companies were failing in their tendering process, Vice Chairman and Managing Director, Nigerian Ajib Exploration, NAE, Monsimo Unisula, said it would further enhance the creation of enterprise development of local content and opportunities in Nigeria towards the realization of Local Content Act.
This engagement seeks to bring together key NAE deep offshore original equipment manufacture, fabrication, well delivery, and together PETAN member company.
Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Local Content, Aseta Honorable, and Executive Secretary, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, represented, we are hopeful that the event would provide possible solution to challenges hindering the effective implementation of the Content Act. Key areas of focus of the program are the recognition of the need for Nigerian contractors to work with their foreign counterparts for sharing of expertise, review of key provisions of the Local Content Act, training of vendors and contractors on tendering process and addressing the challenges arising from the Act. Highlight was the exhibition tour and the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between Petran and NAE. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Some public affairs analysts have asked Nigerians to contribute their quota in either offering advice or support to the government in order to build a better Nigeria. They spoke in a special program on Nigeria at 54 in reaction to the message of the presidential broadcast by Goodluck Jonathan on October 1st.
A major part of that speech, which has struck me most, is the fact that he reaffirmed his faith in democracy and his commitment to implement the social contracts that he signed with Nigerians 3 years ago.
You could see a leader who is pained at the gains of democracy are being wiped out by insurgency and act of political insensibilities.
You can tune for details on the program in reaction to the message in the presidential broadcast by President Goodluck Jonathan on October 1st, on Thursday, 9th of October, from 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Coming shortly, National Human Rights Commission speaks on killings in Yandev, Benue State. Stay with us.
The Honorable Minister of Power, Professor Chinedu Nebo, is pleased to announce the official groundbreaking ceremony of the 450-megawatt Azura Edo Independent Power Plant, which will take place this Friday, 10th October in Benin City. The special guest of this august occasion will be His Excellency, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The chief host will be His Excellency Comrade Adams Ali Oshiomhole, Executive Governor of Edo State. The event is a landmark day in the evolution of Nigeria's power sector and a demonstration of the confidence reposed by the international investment community in Mr. President's transformation agenda. Attendance at this event is strictly by invitation only.
Do you know that you can own your own house in Abuja today?
The federal government of Nigeria, through the Ministry of the Federal Capital Territory, in collaboration with the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, invites all Nigerian workers to key into President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's nationwide housing scheme. It is set to benefit both government and private company workers contributing to pension fund
or the NHF.
All you need is a 10% deposit with which you'll be given an allocation letter and the rest balance paid over a 20-year period. Available housing types includes 2 and 3 bedroom blocks of flats, a 3-bedroom terrace duplex, 4-bedroom duplex, 4-bedroom semi-detached duplex, 4-bedroom terrace duplex, and 5-bedroom duplex located at Apo after ShopRite opposite Malaysian Garden, Abuja. Application forms can be obtained at Zenith Bank and First Bank Nigeria PLC. Mortgage bankers include
Resort Savings and Loans PLC
and SunTrust Savings and Loans Limited. This project is executed by Good Homes Development Company Limited. For the inquiries, you can call our numbers on 0037924710 or 090-922-44195.
There are 3 kinds of people. Those who talk about change. Those who resist change. And those who make changes. We belong to the kind that make changes. We believe in it. We demonstrate it. We support it. We endorse it. Let the change continue. This message is brought to you by Project 774, where government meets the governed.
A cup of jig in the water will get school uniforms whiter, and it is the tough stain fighter that will get your whites much brighter. Just chickens! Pot puree and lemon. Just chickens! Hey, you better go get it! Now available in lemon and pot puree fragrances, the newest and freshest way to chickens.
Experience Katsina.
Home of a vibrant history, a culture of pride and peace. Centuries of tradition have built a solid foundation.
Invest in Katsina.
The future is here. Opportunity is everywhere. Nestled in northwest Nigeria, it's the home of untapped resources, solar and wind energy, and solid minerals.
Grow Katsina.
From the fertile land and the seeds of potential, grow cotton, corn, rice, and livestock. Katsina is the breadbasket for Nigeria and the region, home to the most important resource of all, our people.
Explore Katsina's potentials. Come invest in Katsina.
Good to have you back on NTA News Extra. All is set for the airlift of Nigerian pilgrims back to Nigeria from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia after completing the 2014 Hajj exercise. This was made known at the post-Arafat meeting between the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria and the tour operators in Mecca. Aliu Kabir has details.
The completion of the stoning of pebbles at Jamrat as well as the final circumambulation marked the end of Hajj rites, which prepares pilgrims to return back to their respective countries. Towards achieving a successful airlift of the Nigerian pilgrims from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia back to Nigeria is what formed the desire of the meeting between National Hajj Commission of Nigeria and the State Pilgrims Welfare Board. The Commissioner Operation, Muhammad Mukhtar, told journalists that the Commission slated Thursday, the 9th of October for the commencement of the airlift. The tour operators said they are well prepared for the exercise. In a related development, a meeting was also held between the officials of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria and the State Pilgrims Welfare Board to achieve a common goal. The Commissioner Operation urged pilgrims to always comply with the NAHCON guidelines for the successful operation. From Makkah al-Mukarramah in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
And back home, the National Human Rights Commission has constituted an investigative panel into the killing of some Mbayon youths in Boko local government area of Benue State. This was made known by the Director of Monitoring Department, Human Rights Commission, Tony Ojukwu, while briefing journalists in Abuja. Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
Sometime in March 2014, a complaint was made from Mbayon community, Yandev, Boko local government area of Benue State, over the alleged killing of 7 youths and injuring to others by some security personnel on guard at the site of Dangote cement factory. The director, Tony Ojukwu, told journalists that the investigative panel had in attendance members of the community and legal representatives, as well as the deceased families and their legal representatives, among others.
We're happy to announce that there is a major breakthrough in this, and the management of Dangote Cement has assuaged the feelings of all the families that were affected, both those that were diseased and those that were injured during the process. And before us in the Commission now, as a result of this amicable settlement and compensation that has been extended to the families, they have now approached the Commission in a joint letter signed by about 10 of them.
The amount given to the families of the victims was not disclosed, but the Human Rights Commission said that the families were satisfied with the compensation made to them. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
The issue of building collapse has become a reoccurring phenomenon in the country, which experts attribute to structural defects. This is because many engage in construction without taking into cognizance the grades of cement for various aspects of construction. In this special report, correspondent Joseph Oten examines the use of different grades of cement for construction, which many have no idea of.
Construction of buildings, culverts, bridges, and many other structures are observed in different parts of Benue State and Nigeria at large on a daily basis. The question is whether most of these constructions meet up with the required standards and specifications in terms of the structures and materials used. One of the most reliable materials for construction worldwide is cement. This important milestone, which is processed in industries, is of various types, including Portland, rapid hardening, and surface-resistant cements, which serve different purposes in construction. Cement is also graded into various categories like 32.5R, mainly used for plastering of buildings, 42.5R, used for the construction of culverts, and 52.5R, mostly used for the construction of bridges. The building experts say Portland cement graded 42.5R can be used for the construction of this column and concrete like this. At the same time, it can be used for the plastering of this wall. But 32.5R, which is meant mainly for plastering, cannot be used for this construction. A building engineer says wrong application of the type of cement and its mixture has been one of the major reasons for structural collapse in Nigeria.
Concrete, again, is of different grades. The concrete you use to cast your German floor, as they locally call it, that is oversized concrete as we call it in construction, is different from the concrete you use for columns or for slabs.
If you mold it after 1 hour, cement one, it will be as solid as you made it. You molded the block like about 5 hours ago. But cement two, you mold it from morning till evening. If rain fall any moment, it will destroy the block.
This is, however, worrisome, as some people who have engaged themselves in construction say they have no knowledge of the various grades of cement and their usage.
We know it's 50 kg.
The same thing, anywhere cement is cement.
Experts say, apart from the grading of cement materials that have overstayed lose their qualities even when the right grade is applied. The expert call on structural developers to always seek professional assistance whenever they want to erect any structure to prevent structural collapse. In Makudi, Joseph Oten, NTA News.
And just ahead, sports. Stay with us.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working in line with the transformation agenda of the President, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, introduction of cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
I'm particularly impressed with the introduction of mobile authentication service, which makes it very easy for the ordinary people themselves to be able to identify drugs that are fake.
And I urge all Nigerians, irrespective of wherever they are, to key into it.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Bragging is not President Goodluck Jonathan's style, so you'd hardly hear him brag about all the great things he is doing for Nigeria. He wouldn't tell you he's the first president to privatize power, to give us a constant supply of electricity and economic prosperity. Soon your electricity will be like your mobile phones, 24 hours, 7 days a week. He won't brag about security, new roads, new rail, or new airports, eliminating corruption in agriculture and saving $25 billion per year, mass housing projects, or that our economy is growing at the fastest rate in the world. He wouldn't brag about any of it because he knows there's a lot more to be done. Mr. President, right on. We that are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Good to have you back on the last lap of News Extra this Wednesday evening. The Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, has expressed satisfaction with the manner the federal government is fighting insurgency in parts of the country. Correspondent Anthony Fosun reports that President of the Union, Mohammed Garba, stated these while briefing newsmen in Abuja. The report.
Mohammed Garba, who said the President Goodluck Jonathan-led administration has sufficient capacity to contain insurgency in the country and that some few individuals must desist from politicizing the issue. On the $9.3 million money meant for the purchase of arms, Mohammed Garba called on the federal government to clear the air as investigations revealed that there was nothing shoddy about the mission.
So that they can understand and appreciate the challenges that is going through here in Nigeria. We are indeed disturbed because these issues are being politicized.
On the closure of courts in Ekiti State, the NJ president called for the issue to be resolved given its implication on the nation's democracy.
By the time we did not address this problem in Ekiti, I want to assure you that we are going to experience similar problems in other parts of the country. We are now heading towards the 2015 election, and tribunals and courts will be very, very busy with.
Mohammed Garba used the opportunity to call on the acting Inspector General of Police to wade into the face-off between an Abuja-based journalist and AIG Mbu, saying the police and journalists are partners in progress. Therefore, nothing should be allowed to strain the existing relationship. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
As Kenya President Uhuru Kenyatta stands trial for criminal charges against humanity at the International Criminal Court in The Hague, defense attorney calls for case dismissal, and women in Ukraine take up arms against Ukraine forces. These are among global tidbits with correspondent Runke Kolawole.
The defense attorney for Uhuru Kenyatta has called on judges at the International Criminal Court to dismiss allegations of crimes against humanity on the ground that the prosecution has failed to provide sufficient evidence. Meanwhile, victims of Kenya's post-election violence viewed on the television the hearing in The Hague and called for justice. In Donetsk, dozens of women in the east of Ukraine have joined the pro-Russian separatists in battles against Ukraine forces. They said they are tired of staying aloof while their homes and everything dear to them are being destroyed. Report from Hong Kong says the government and students have agreed on an agenda for negotiations, but fear that many difficulties remain ahead. The pro-democracy protesters said they are not satisfied with the government's conditions to start political dialogue, but decided to go ahead with the talks, which starts on Friday. Constitutional development tops agenda. In another news, relief work continues in southwest China's Yunnan province after a 6.6 magnitude earthquake struck the region on Tuesday night. According to reports, one person was killed, while 324 others sustained injuries. The earthquake caused 7,000 houses to collapse. For Global Tidbits, Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
And on sports, Super Eagles are sure of victory over Sudan in AFCON qualifier as Falcons intensify training ahead of 9th Africa Women Championship in Namibia. Correspondent Amanze Marcos has the details.
As Nigeria's Super Eagles intensify preparations for the crucial AFCON qualifier against Sudan on Saturday, Coach Stephen Keshi has assured all will be done to get the 3 points. The coach was speaking on Wednesday in Abuja alongside some of his players.
There's always pressure. I mean, if there's no pressure, you can't be on your toes. So try and get whatever you want to get out of your team. They all know what is at stake. I don't need to put that in front of them again. But, slowly we keep nagging them with this. They know that we have to go out there and do the best. And the best is to come back with W, and that's it.
We are trying very hard to see we win the game. We are not going there for losing or draw. We are going there for 3 points.
Nigeria's national women's team, the Super Falcons, on Wednesday trained at the Abuja National Stadium ahead of their departure to the 9th edition of the Africa Women Championship in Namibia. Media officer of the team, Gracious Akujobi, is optimistic that the Falcons will win an 8th title in the Southern African country in a competition holding from October 11 to 25. With Sports News Update, Amanze Marcus, NTA News.
The death has been announced in Lafia of Hajia Zuwaira Sarkin Wuse Agware at the age of 90. She left behind 4 children and 68 grandchildren. Among her children is Ahmed Agiya, member of the board of directors of NTA. Among early sympathizers at the family residence was the chairman of NTA board, Mr. Patrick Ogu. May Almighty Allah grant her al-Jannat. Time for a quick check on weather prospects across the country. And before we take our leave, do remember that it is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of the State Security. And that's how it has been on tonight's News Extra. We thank you for being with us. Do have a pleasant night rest. Good night and God bless.